Today is July 16th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we are going to continue our journey through Bill's story by reading page 7. Out of the 12 and 12, we are going to continue our journey through Step 3 by reading page 35. And now the daily reflections in 24 hours a day, we are going to read the July 16th entries. So with that, hope you all are doing well today, my friends. And we've been given another set of 24 hours. We woke up today. That is a blessing in itself. And if we're sober, that's even better. So let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. All right, so if you recall from yesterday's reading, Bill is in pretty bad shape. His drinking is becoming absolutely unmanageable, but he's not admitted that quite yet. It's getting close, though. He's lost a lot of weight. He's trying through willpower alone to stop, and he can't, and he's drinking sometimes for oblivion. So we're going to build on that idea by reading page 7. My brother-in-law is a physician. And through his kindness and that of my mother, I was placed in a nationally known hospital for mental and physical rehabilitation of alcoholics. Under the so-called belladonna treatment, my brain cleared. Hydrotherapy and mild exercise helped much. Best of all, I met a kind doctor who explained that, though certainly selfish and foolish, I had been seriously ill, bodily and mentally. It relieved me somewhat to learn that in alcoholics, the will is amazingly weakened when it comes to combating liquor, though it often remains strong in other respects. My incredible behavior in the face of a desperate desire to stop was explained. Understanding myself now, I fared forth in high hope. For 3 or 4 months, the goose hung high. I went to town regularly and even made a little money. Surely this was the answer: self-knowledge. But it was not. For the frightful day came when I drank once more. The curve of my declining moral and bodily health fell off like a ski jump. After a time, I returned to the hospital. This was the finish, the curtain, it seemed to me. My weary and despairing wife was informed that it would all end with heart failure during delirium tremens, or that I'd develop wet brain, perhaps within a year. She would soon have to give me over to the undertaker or the asylum. They didn't need to tell me. I knew, and almost welcomed the idea. It was a devastating blow to my pride. I, who thought so well of myself and my abilities, of my capacity to surmount obstacles, was cornered at last. Now I was to plunge into the dark, joining that endless procession of sots who had gone on before. I thought of my poor wife. There had been much happiness after all. What would I not give to make amends? But that was over now. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Step 3. Made the decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Page 35. To every worldly and practical-minded beginner, this step looks hard, even impossible. No matter how much one wishes to try, exactly how can he turn his will and his own life over to the care of whatever God he thinks there is? Fortunately, we who have tried it, and with equal misgivings, can testify that anyone at all, can begin to do it. We can further add that a beginning, even the smallest, is all that is needed. Once we have placed the key of willingness in the lock and have the door ever so slightly open, we find that we can always open it some more. Though self-will may slam it shut again, as it frequently does, it will always respond the moment we pick up again the key of willingness. Maybe this all sounds mysterious and remote, something like Einstein's theory of relativity or a proposition in nuclear physics. It isn't at all. Let's look at how practical it actually is. Every man and woman who has joined AA and intends to stick has, without realizing it, made a beginning on Step 3. Isn't it true that in all matters touching upon alcohol, each of them has decided to turn his or her life over to the care, protection, and guidance of Alcoholics Anonymous? Already a willingness has been achieved to cast out one's own will and one's own ideas about the alcohol problem in favor of those suggested by AA. Any willing newcomer feels sure that AA is the only safe harbor for the foundering vessel he has become. Now, if this is not turning one's will and life over to a newfound providence, then what is it? But suppose that instinct still cries out, as it certainly will. Yes, respecting alcohol, I guess I have to be dependent upon AA. But in all other matters, I still must maintain my independence. Nothing is going to turn me into a non-entity. If I keep on turning my life and my will over to the care of something or somebody else, what will become of me? I'll look like the hole in the donut. This, of course, is the process by which instinct and logic always seek to bolster egotism, and so frustrate spiritual development. The trouble is that this kind of thinking takes no real account of the facts, and the facts seem to be these. The more we become willing to depend upon a higher power, the more independent we actually are. Therefore, dependence, as AA practices it, is really a means of gaining true independence of the spirit. Daily Reflection, July 16th. A measure of humility. In every case, pain has been the price of admission into a new life. But this admission price had purchased more than we expected. It brought a measure of humility, which we soon discovered to be the healer of pain. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 75. It was painful to give up trying to control my life, even though success eluded me, and when life got too rough, I drank to escape. Accepting life on life's terms will be mastered through humility I experience when I turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand Him. With my life in God's care, fear, uncertainty, and anger are no longer my response to those portions of life that I would rather not have happened to me. The pain of living through these times will be healed by the knowledge that I have received the spiritual strength to survive. 24 hours a day, July 16th. AA Thought for the Day. We can believe that God is in heaven and that He has a purpose for our lives, which will eventually work out as long as we try to live the way we believe He wants us to live. It has been said that we should wear the world like a loose garment. That means that nothing should seriously upset us because we have a deep, abiding faith that God will always take care of us. To us, that means not to be too upset by the surface wrongness of things, but to feel deeply secure in the fundamental goodness and purpose in the universe. Do I feel deeply secure? Meditation for the day. Like the shadow of a great rock in a desert land, God is your refuge from the ills of life. The old hymn says, "Rock of ages cleft for me, let me hide myself in thee." God can be your shelter from the storm. God's power can protect you from every temptation and defeat. Try to feel His divine power, call on it, accept it, and use it. Armed with that power, you can face anything. Each day seek safety in God's secret place, in communion with Him. You cannot be wholly touched or seriously harmed there. God can be your refuge. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may find a haven in the thought of God. I pray that I may abide in that strong tower, strongly guarded. All right, my friends, so this was a little bit heavier reading, but golly, it was good stuff today. It's good stuff every day, but man, it hit me hard today. But just to pick one real fast, I love the 12 and 12. Just because we do these steps, maybe it's for the first time. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. Just because I do these steps maybe one time, it doesn't going to mean that I'm perfect. I can still pick up pride, gluttony, fear, anger, you name it. any of the 7 deadly sins. I can pick those up, But I love this part right here on 35. Though self-will may slam it shut again, as it frequently does, it will always respond the moment we again pick up the key of willingness. Getting right back on the horse and going, God, I'm sorry. That was wrong of me. Please forgive me. Do I need to make amends? I want to carry out your will today. Please show me how. Boom, right back at it. Not using my poor decisions as an excuse to make more poor decisions, which I had done during my drinking days. It's a beautiful way to live. And the crazy thing is, we feel so much happier when we actually do these things. Sounds like a lot of work, right? But I am so much more free, I guess you could say, and happy, looking the world square in the eye when I carry out God's will for my life. It's a lot harder to carry out my own will. It's a lot more exhausting. But it's a daily choice. I haven't graduated yet. Don't think I will on this side of glory. But all right, that's all I have for today. Thanks for letting me ramble a little bit there. As always, I don't speak on behalf of AA or NA or Al-Anon or any other sect. I'm just a friend in this lifeboat of recovery, and I am grateful that you're here with me today. If we are given another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.